Oh, well, the audio came through late. Hi, guys. Welcome to Crypto NC. Let me just change the camera, move the camera. But today we're going to talk about Santa Rally, navigating the mixed signals in the crypto market as well. I'm going to be talking about Bitcoin. We're going to be talking about Ethereum. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin Cash and a few other coins. What you can do is, as we're getting going, you're more than welcome to say, hello, Yoza. You're more than welcome to say hi. Let's open the convo. And hello, Jerry. Nice to see you here, my friend. And give me a couple of requests. I might pick a few that I think is good to do some live charting for you guys as we go leading into the week. Now, an important thing for today from a purely legacy point of view, today is the FOMC meeting minutes. Meeting minutes. There it is. And tomorrow is going to be the hourly earnings, non-farm payroll, and the unemployment rate. Now, remember, the rate cuts was the pretend fuel for what would be another leg to the upside. Didn't quite play out that way. But the FOMC and the rate cut still has an impact because it's going to determine whether our larger time frame biases are going to be bearish or bullish as well. And these information, or the information that's going to be coming today and more importantly tomorrow for the rest of the week, is going to have a lot more volatility added to the market because of the US government shutdown that prevented that data from coming. So the FOMC, at this stage, we're flying blind, and the argument is now that this information is going to come. If there's anything unwanted or unsightly, you might see massive swings in that and will bring more volatility to what is already a scared shitless market. Okay, so take note of that. Now, let's quickly talk about Bitcoin. Now, we're in the imbalance. So from a purely price action point of view, from a weekly time frame, we're in the imbalance zone. Now, where were we the last time in the imbalance zone? This was the same equivalent as trying to buy the $77,000 BTC back then. Now, I'm not necessarily saying we're going to go new higher high. I am a little bit more conservative. I might be biased as well. But the end of the day is we had a massive sell-off. There's worst case scenario, an imbalance there. So at around 98, 97, which was where a lot of analysts, I would rather say fundamental analysts, were expecting the bounce to occur. That could potentially be an area where a lot of resistance will be sitting. And I would be looking to try and be bullish from this zone to there from a trader point of view. Remember, this is Trade for a Living podcast, to try and trade towards that area. And then from that point onwards, see if there's a need and the right technical indicators for the short to the downside. Now, part of what I'm saying to you guys is, this is the short-term outlook. There's another way of looking at this as well. So if I go over to the 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin, you can see what I was hoping for, some strong bullish divergence. Monday morning, I went long, got stopped out. And where we're at right now, we created what was hopefully strong bullish divergence, but it ended up being weak bullish divergence. And we have a situation where we've now tested that demand zone, living at around 90,000. So the betting person in me is saying that there could still be a little bit of a wick overlap on the 4-hour time frame. Say maybe go back to 91, about $700 worth of price action. But I want to see this now start creeping up to try and look if we can now, today, reclaim what was hopefully support on Monday, if we can reclaim that. If we hit this, when we get to 95, thereabout, if we have hidden bearish divergence, have a look at that, have a look at where the RSI will be, have a look at where prices, expect another test. So this is going to be choppy as hell. And hopefully, if we can hold on to these demand zones that we're now creating, if we can hold on to them, there could be a break and we could see our first higher high on these highs, which could then potentially bring us into that area. Okay, so there's still a lot of work that needs to happen. It's going to be uncertain and you're going to have mixed signals. So what you need to do is basically kind of kind of be comfortable playing both sides of the market for the time being because we're range bound. Now, range bound meaning, if we look at this now, I've got a 10-minute analysis here. I was trying to scalp long right there this morning. I'm in a long still from this morning. Used this momentum break to kind of get my ass back into some longs. And I'm going short right now because what we have is on the smaller time frame divergence. So we're going to need to fight this out. And only once we break through this momentum that we've currently got marked out there, that then sets the larger time frame up for us. So critical level for you guys to hold on for Bitcoin is we need to stay above 91,500. So it's a critical support level in order to say that we're putting in a bottom. Where we're at right now, we're above 95. This is looking really good for us. So I want to see whether this divergence can have zero or very little effect on it, because this would be the first then possibility for us to switch bullish. Last little thing on this, if this is then the beginning of a bull trend and we will push higher, you'll find that the RSI keeps on going higher, giving us that first little, shakeout where the RSI goes from one condition to the other to establish the beginning of a trend. It's only then where I would start using the speed resistance fan again to try and track whether we're going to remain bullish. So at this stage, choppy market, tricky market, the rule is be bearish at resistance, be bullish at support, or be bearish at the top of the range, be bullish at the bottom of the range. Hence the fact that I've got a long and a short running right now. Okay, so there is Bitcoin for you guys in that stage. Now let's go and have a look at Ethereum real quick. I'm going to go back to the weekly time frame. It's important we have our bigger picture there. So Ethereum from a weekly perspective has been range bound. And the hope was when we were here that we were going to hold this level at 3.8 and then drive on higher. Bitcoin and the crypto market had a different plan for us, and the market sold off. So we're in that same swing buy zone now. So there's confluence between where Bitcoin is finding itself now and where Ethereum is finding itself right now. So I'm looking for an Ethereum, a $3,000 Ethereum to hold as support. The same then needs to happen then on the 4-hour time frame. This is where it gets a little tricky, because on the 4-hour time frame from Ethereum's perspective, we're basically still falling quite heavily. So the momentum, unlike that of Bitcoin regarding the price and the RSI, it's a little different. You've already got a bearish divergence there. We're sitting at resistance. So Ethereum could potentially still chop a little bit more, while Bitcoin as well tries and figures itself out. And the critical level for Ethereum where we're at right now is 3,140. If Ethereum can get above 3,140, it will head up to that imbalance. And this means that from where we're at right now, Ethereum could give you a nice 10% swing trade from a trading perspective, as opposed to what Bitcoin will be doing for us. If I switch back to Bitcoin, let's do that, and bring Bitcoin up from this area to there, which would be about 6%. So this then tells us that there might be something happening for the alts, because Ethereum is next resistance target gives us a little bit more as opposed to Bitcoin, and that's gonna look good. It's gonna be a good marketing point for us. Let's move on before we look at that. Let's look at Bitcoin Cash now. So Bitcoin Cash on the weekly time frame. I'm going to bring up the weekly chart for you guys there. Bitcoin Cash on the weekly time frame, we're in that pivotal support area. So Bitcoin Cash is a lot like Solana when it first went into the 130s, thereabout. A good example, let me open the Solana chart and explain to you guys. So Bitcoin Cash, if you look at this is the Solana chart. What do we have? We had range bound. We were chopping a lot, made the higher high, and then didn't move much, okay, from that point onwards. So if you look at Bitcoin Cash, we're in that same starting point and we're at that pivotal support. So where Solana, once it found that pivotal support, created a new or higher high. I mean, if you look at that value from there to there is about 73%. There is a potential for Bitcoin Cash to do just that as well. Go and get that 73%. Now, if you look at Bitcoin Cash to the BTC pairing, that's where the clue lies, because there is a lot of more momentum sitting in there. It's showing a little bit more strength. So the target for Bitcoin Cash trade would probably be buying about 470 and driving it to maybe even $800. So keep an eye on Bitcoin Cash. It does look really good. If we head over to the 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin Cash, it means that let's do this real quick. You can see that it doesn't have any of the massive sell-off liquidation stuff that we see with Ethereum and Bitcoin for that matter. It's been holding steadily, and that's where the strength lies with this one. It's been holding steadily. It is range-bound, guys. There's no denying the fact that we're range-bound. There's our first point of divergence, our first thou shalt not cross, which is still resistance. And this is where the divergence played out, support that has been tested and so forth. So you've got your support at the bottom. You've got your resistance at the top. Well, I clicked on the wrong line. Let me just get that. You got your support at the bottom, resistance at the top, and price kind of hovering around that negotiation, that axis. You know, is it bullish, is it bearish, is it bullish, is it bearish? So this would be a really good area to start looking for a trend to emerge. A slow trend would probably be the better one, because then it shows that even a weak bullish momentum is strong enough to break the bears. So weak bullish momentum, if it flips, that could turn into a big parabolic rise for you guys. And so keep an eye on Bitcoin Cash. I'm gonna just keep on reminding you guys that there might be some really big things happening around that area. A reasoning as well to kind of support this would be your Zcash. Now, Zcash had for the longest time, I'm just going to go back to the weekly time frame. For the longest time, I'm not saying that it's going to do what Zcash did, but for the longest time, on the weekly time frame, let's do this. It was chopping, and holding on to support. And at some stage, it had this massive rally to the upside. So maybe we get to be lucky. Bitcoin Cash does the same. Blows through, maybe goes to $2,000. I don't see that, but yeah, you know, luck is preparation meeting an opportunity. You never know. But it's going through the same kind of accumulation, just at a higher level. Zcash was doing it right there at the floor. Now, Zcash, from my point of view, where we're at right now, is the beginning of a short seller coin. Let's look at this. Say this is the bottom, say this is the top. Let's just take a few assumptions. Zcash is going to go back to about 300, 192 thereabout dollars a level. Now this is weekly time frame. Let's zoom that into the daily time frame then for Zcash. And what I will do is just switch off the buddy indicator real quick. Okay, so if that is the case, what do we need to see? We need this thing to first break momentum. Now, yesterday's video was a mindset video. I said to you guys, listen, everybody ends up being late to the bull market at some stage. Nobody gets to buy the ultimate bottom. I might have been late, previous cycle, this cycle, I was there and so forth. But everybody that's in the market right now is early to the bear market. You're there now. So if this is the case, there's going to be a first wave, second wave, and then it's going to keep on moving and it's going to hold support. So what I'm looking for right now, if we have a candle open and close or break out below this level, Zcash is going to need to go and hunt for hidden bullish divergence first, which means Bitcoin might be holding support, something, but this coin might be going into double-digit losses to try and test these lows or these lows, meaning that the RSI, as price is going down, needs to fall below levels here. So let's bring in the RSI real quick. You can see how obviously this now becomes, in a way. We've already got hidden bullish divergence, and it's just a case of getting price to the statistical bounce point for that. And the statistical bounce point for that is set up in Strat 4, which means that we can look to start entering in around 550, 447, and 400. For the wait, I clicked on the wrong thing. Look what you're doing, Rudo. There we go. Statistically, there we go. 402, 350, and 300. That's a statistical area for the bounce. So lose that level, Zcash is going to go there. That's where you're going to need to pick it up, potentially for a double top or even a higher high. Okay, there you go. So there's Zcash on the daily time frame. Then this means that on the 4-hour time frame, I've just been keeping eyes on this. 4-hour time frame, we might be setting up for a nice short, because if you want to try and get price, this is an old setup, you want to get price to go down to $400 for the entry, these ranges over here. The 4-hour needs to do what Bitcoin did a while ago at 160. It give you that hidden bearish divergence entry and short, which we don't have right now. What we do have, though, is we've got a high there with roughly a higher high, so there's strong bearish divergence. We've got a pivot sitting right at this level. Okay. And now we are about to experience that hidden bullish divergence trying to push price higher. If we then go and break and establish a bearish trend, which we have not really done here yet, okay? If we go and break down and establish a bearish trend, what will then happen is we'll make that low, the RSI will rush up, price will stay low, and then that's when we want to short the market. So for now, Zcash is not it's about to probably get ready for a short, but you can't short it right now. Keep an eye on it because it's going to set up for some good shorts. Because something that went up like this, there's obviously a lot of hopium sitting in this area. If Zcash goes from 600 to 500 and it's going to scare a lot of people, and they're going to doubt whether they need to hold this for longer. And it's at that stage where you might see your entry, and then it rallies, traps more people, and then goes and tests these lows. So Zcash is high on the list, guys. You need to keep an eye on for that one. Let's move on. XVG. Now, XVG, I was looking to enter on momentum, and we're holding on to support. So the argument here is that we're trying to stay with momentum here with XVG. We've got this 50% of the wick overlap sitting around 78 cents. So I wouldn't want to be holding this thing much lower than, the most recent low, actually. And XVG has, on the higher time frame, just like the other coins, I've got a long sideways accumulation. So this looks a lot like Zcash way back. But look at the way that it's been accumulating. It's been accumulating to the upside. This is still holding strength. So the argument at some stage is we're going to go and visit the upper end of this range. And that's why we're in XVG spot longs, and we're trying to take profit at around 13 cents. This is all in the Discord. So you can head over to the Discord. What you can do is you can just claim your Discord role access. So you're going to go there and say, well, if I've got a Bybit account, which is today's channel sponsor, you can get your Bybit account links in the video description. And if you have an existing one, all you need to do is just transfer KYC to a link that's affiliated with me. And you'll be able to claim your Bybit role. And what that does is it gives you access to the Discord. It's as simple. It's the Discord is a gated community. Let me just scroll down. Where's Bybit role? Come on, I clicked on the date. Oops. And that gives you access to the spot trade group. So there's the spot trade group, and there's the XVG setup as we're currently sitting in there. So it makes it easy for you to follow along. We can look at all the other trades, the previous trade setups, what we did with them, and so forth. So simple as that, guys. Get your Bybit account ready. So yeah, let's move on to more coins real quick. So XVG, this is the play. We're trying to get this to around 13 cents. A nice momentum play for this. Okay. I think there's one more. Let me just make sure. I'm going to scroll down the list and just make sure that I have everything that I said I was going to chart for you guys, because I forget, guys. While that happens, drop me some comments. Let's quickly see where you guys are at and what you guys are holding, like I asked. Let me just get the right tab open. There we go. There we go. Let me just quickly make sure. That's it. I did everything as promised. Okay, over to the comments. Let's quickly see where you guys are. I'm going to scroll back up. Good morning, Liam. Nice joining in live. Guys, just as a quick reminder as well, Yozar, one of those guys that signed up on the monthly subscription for the private group that I have, and recently upgraded themselves into lifetime member access as well. Guys, there's a 50% discount on lifetime member access. Make sure to go and check that out. It's a no-brainer, actually, if you're serious about trading. So the forums also signed up yesterday, so welcome to you guys. Welcome, guys. And make sure to get your ass into a lifetime. That's where it's at. Okay, simple as that. All right. You're serious about trading, do yourself a solid, Let's quickly continue on. And then Lisa also joined Lifetime, so she's no longer just watching us on YouTube. She's participating in the Lifetime. She also signed up during the week using the discount, guys. So make sure to take advantage of the discount. Okay, back to charts. Let's see what you guys are. Liam's got questions. He's always got questions. When he's on the stream, he's got questions and comments. So I like to listen to what Liam has to say. If we are bullish on the larger time frame, the weekly and daily, could we look on smaller time frame to go long or at least back to 100 or an imbalance to short again. Yes, that's the whole idea. So I hope that I kind of explained that to you guys with the Bitcoin analysis. Liam, obviously the comment was early in the stream, but as a recap, we can quickly just rehash this. Just because I'm bullish at this area means that because I'm bullish, okay, I'm allowed to be bullish because I was bearish at the right time. Okay, because I'm bullish, I can look for this. But remember now, and this is the second part. If you're new to trading, don't try and go along now. Wait for the short play out because the bearish momentum is still in check. There's nothing broken bearish-wise. So I'm bullish on the fact that I'm trying to pick a bottom, guys. Pick your bottoms, your fingers stink. Okay, so that's the risk I'm taking. So I'm taking small positions. I'm not going crazy. I mean, I've pointed it out here in the trade room, guys. I mean, I bought 1 Bitcoin. That's all. Keeping the risk low. This is the entry from 91.8. Currently, that position is now only in 7% drawdown. Let me copy the image. I'll bring it over. Show it to you guys. There's the most recent area where that is sitting. That's all I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to look to see if I can get this entry in. There it is. And the short, for that matter, is, well, it's not looking that great, but I mean, it's about 3, 4, 5% in profit. Okay, so that's the way I'm going at this. So I'm trying to get there, but I know I'm fighting a bearish trend. So I don't want to be loading up on longs. I rather want to wait for the upside and then load up on the short, keep punishing the bulls, because hope is in the market. Hope is the one that's getting punished right now. Okay, so that's it. But yes, I think I answered your comment there, but it's always nice just to rehash. Make sure I get everything said properly. Okay. Let's say morning, Chris. Nice to have you, Renee. Can we look at AR? Jerry say GALA, and then Sonic. I saw some information about Sonic last night, quite late onto the server. Maybe it's a good request. So let's do AR, GALA, and Sonic. Okay. Is there a certain amount we need to have the Bybit sign up? No, there's no certain amount. Just have the KYC transferred and use the bloody exchange. What's the point of signing up if you're not going to use it? So that's all that it is. It's just simple sign up, and that's it. Okay. Okay. So let's see. Let's have a look at AR. Okay. I'm going to head over to AR for you guys. Let's do this. AR. I'm going to use Binance. Okay, I'm going to chart it on spot. Okay, and we're going to start at the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame, guys, is a reminder. I always put this on the BTC chart at the top. Puts in your HODL sentiment, your larger time frame sentiment. Okay, so when we look at this from a weekly time frame, what I like about AR is that it is holding, albeit by one little pinky, onto support. It had a dead cat bounce, took out all the long players, took out all the short players. And typically what it does when that happens, it continues on with the trend. So the argument is that it's still trending down. The nature of what happened on the weekly there, and let me just take away a little bit of the scratches, okay, or my artistry, my chart artistry, okay. The nature of what that tells us is that this liquidation was had a very weak bullish response. So typically what you will do is you will not just bounce at the 50%, you could potentially go lower than that wick. Now, because this was a mass liquidation and you also had very thin order books, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt and say that, anything in this range here, 50% of that wick, typically from a smart money concept, price action concept, that would be the area for the where accumulation could take place. Now, how would accumulation look? Well, this would be your resistance from that range. Accumulation's now falling in this range. It needs to hold on and reclaim that. Do I want to buy that? No, I don't want to buy that this time around. Why? Because it's below that. This could potentially, if it goes to that range and we don't get bullish Bitcoin and we don't get what we want, this could potentially turn into what was Celestia, would be a really good example of that. I'm just going to remind you of Celestia. Okay. holding on to that level, fell below that range, didn't have a liquidation at that stage, but from that point onwards, just moving down. Now, this looks so harmful, but from that area to there, I mean, look at that amount of price loss there. So, I mean, if you did this, if you had $1,000 there where you're at right now, you've got $500. And that's just if you bought the ultimate. If you were buying there, saying, well, if a shakeout occurs, I'll be okay. I mean, you're down a hell of a lot. So I don't want to be down in that same way. So that's my analysis for AR. Wait. Okay. Now let's have a look at GALA for Jerry. We'll look at your GALA real quick. I'll use Binance as well. And GALA functions in the same way. This is where the area would we want to be a support. It's trending down. You've got that same higher time frame wick in that area. GALA didn't have the shakeout to the upside, but it doesn't change anything. Now, what have we done with GALA as well? Yet again, we're below that point, which is bad. I don't want to buy GALA right now. I will stay away with GALA. You know, trying to be first, that retail sentiment, buying a bargain, doesn't work in the financial sector. Rather buy something that goes up. Think of GALA as an old classic car. You're buying it because it's proven itself over time that it is appreciating in value, which is amazing. You're not going to buy a new car and say, wait for 60 months or 60 years before it turns into a classic. And that's what GALA could potentially be. It could be a classic. It could be something in the long term that, you know, moves into something really valuable. Zcash, you know, almost in an example of that. But in that period, it first needs to lose more, and it might lose a hell of a lot more. And you know what? Your car can get stolen, it can get wrecked, the factory can burn down, the company could go bust, and. Some of that might have been good things for the appreciation of it. But you get the analogy, okay? So forgive me for the limitations of my explanation, but that's the thing with GALA as well. So I don't need to look at any lower time frames because the higher time frame already tells me stay away from this one. There's better ones to be in. Okay. Then the third one, let's have a look at Sonic. From Tony Chopper. Cool name, Tony. Let's have a look at where did I hide my Sonic chart. There we go. It's in the Celestia section. Okay, let's go back to the weekly time frame. Let's have a look at this one. Now, there's a lot of data missing because obviously with the name change, ticker change, everything, and it's a smart thing. They do it for a lot of reasons because it kind of deletes the expectation that, you know, where was Phantom and where is it now, you know, kind of blames that away, gives a fresh perspective on things. But if you look at this price action right now, we're just trending in harmony on the weekly time frame. There's nothing there saying anything else. And yet again, you can see liquidation wick, candle closed below, like I said. Then we're not going to bounce. We're going to do this. We're going to fill that wick and some. And as a closing comment on that, if you think about this, and I used Bitcoin as a really good example for you guys. So I'm just going to go to a clean Bitcoin chart. I think I might have one. This one might be cleanish. Not as clean, but okay. Let's use this one. Yeah, this one will work. Okay. There was a liquidation event. Price stayed above the closing price of that liquidation event, or within that. You know, it had a little bit of a doji, but I mean, that was the idea. That means 50% of the liquidation would typically signal the end of the market. Okay, go and back test this, guys. It's not me just making this stuff up. Okay, back test this. There we had a massive liquidation event. Price traded in the wick, closed in the wick. We filled the wick and some. The recent one, when we had this liquidation event, I came to you guys and said exact same. This week's a critical week for us because we need to close above that level or else we're going to fill the wick and some. That's it. And now the alts have got that same frustrating thing that they're about to fill the wick and some. Now some went to zero. I mean, you can't fold it and some. It's one of those things. It's done its job. But that's just statistically what is plausible with these kind of things. Okay, there you have it. Liesel, NIR, and ENA. I mean, we can do that in the Discord. You're not there, so I'll give you the charts there. Let's see what else we have. Would you Filecoin? Filecoin, it's the same. There's nothing there. I mean, I was looking at Filecoin earlier. It just doesn't. It's not appealing to me. I know the guys are saying in the group that file, but for me, Filecoin on the weekly time frame is exactly where it's at. I'm heavily interested in it, just like I was very interested in the other ones as well. But you can see that closed in that area. It's still trending bearish. It's below that level. And it go and prove to me you're bullish first. I want to buy second, but I want to buy something that, like a classic car, is proven to me that it's appreciating in value. Therefore, it's a good investment. I don't want to buy a new car and hope it will be a good investment at some stage, meaning that buying a BMW right now, 30% off floor price, great deal, and then I'll just hold it and hopefully it will turn into a good investment vehicle. It just doesn't work that way. Okay, that's it. Now, while we're here, I think we still have a few minutes, 31 minutes in. Let's quickly do ENA. I think ENA is, I do have a ENA chart already prepared. Just need to find where I've got it here. There, DeFi section. There we go. Okay, ENA. Same thing, strong. So where ENA is sitting right now, Liesel, is at that 50%. You can see how price is being absorbed there right now. Now, things can change. Statistically, I'll move this now. Statistically, ENA looks way better. Now, from a demand zone, price action point of view, there's demand and it's holding on to that demand. It needs to stay, it needs to keep holding on to that demand. That's the important thing. Why am I getting WhatsApps now? Crazy. I need to put my phone on silent. Sorry, guys. Phone's on silent for what it's worth. Okay. So that is a good play. Was it? That's just my wife leaving. Okay, so that's the big one there. So ENA does look from that point strong. And guys, from a risk to reward ratio, think of it like this. You can argue that this is a good spot buy even. Because you're at floor prices. If it's going to start trading in this area below 18, below 20 cents for that matter, it's no longer going to do what you want it to do. And the argument is you want this thing to keep appreciating in value. Then it just needs to dump down lower. So not a bad call there on ENA, Liesel. Yeah, while we're at that, let's have a look at Mantle real quick. There might be something here as well. Mantle maybe at around 87 cents, guys. Might be a really good buy there. Holding on to support. Wait for obviously lower time frames, but keep an eye on Mantle. And then let's have a look at your NIR. Maybe Liesel has done way more homework than I did because her first call was really good. Let's have a look at NIR. Where is my NIR on the list? Let's just type it in. Stop being lazy, Rudo. I'll use this one. Okay. NIR is, however, like the other ones. I do like the fact that the RSI is trending up, and it is near a bottom. Excuse the pun. It is near support at this stage. Does have the beginnings or the beginnings of the end of an accumulation, the argument being that it's moved up, it's now gone through all the emotional turmoil, and it might be chopping around this area. But until momentum comes in, I'll probably keep my eye, my hands off of that. That's the same way I'm looking at Giggle, which is, one of those meme coins. It's sitting in that same sort of area. I want this thing to show me momentum. If it does, then there's a hell of a lot of upside potential, but it's not there just yet. So be patient with NIR, but keep an eye on NIR, and we maybe need to say next week, see what the weekly does, get back to NIR, and see if it holds. Okay. The rules are the same. Statistically, we're bound to go and test $1.20 first, then before we go to the upside. There's nice imbalances around $4. TA means nothing to the end of the big sentiment that you can do exactly what it just wants to do. So but just keep an eye on that. Here's a few comments from Twitter. Let's see if they do come through. Rose. So let's see. It's 35 minutes. Let's have a look at Rose. Lisa, I hope that answers your question. Let me know in the comments. I'll sort that out. Let's have a look at Rose. Rose was a big play last cycle for me. I have to admit. Rose is below the level. Rose is bad, guys. So stay away. I don't want to buy it now. The divergence is there. So from a purely technical point of view, you can argue that if it wants to turn, it should turn. But then the bears have got control. They still have the ball. And until we reclaim that area around 2 cents, we could be hovering around and create more divergence. And finally it will turn. So I'll wait for it to reclaim a certain support level. Show me that you want to appreciate and value, and then I'll grab it. Then at that stage, wherever the buy is going to be, this is going to be the area where you want to take profit on, around 6 cents. Now, if your buys are somewhere up here, that's your rebalance your risk scenario. Meaning if you didn't sell any rows and you've been trapped in rows since forever, when you get there, you get the hell out. You don't dream, okay, now it's going to go there. And you get out, because what will happen if you're wrong, it will go and test that range again, because it will need to test that range. Then you buy back, and then you try and drive this thing further. Okay, so that's the nice thing about spot. You can wait for the rebalance to get your ass out. Okay. ASTER. Now, ASTER was a big trending play, and just like hype, just want to point this out to you guys. Hyperliquid. This is the power of this price action. It's sitting in this area. We were trying to buy 43. It didn't do its thing, and that's it. I said to you guys, it's going to go back down there. 16. Hyper's on its way back down there. So let's have a look at what ASTER has to do. Now, ASTER has a little bit of a bit of less candles. So maybe we just need to look at this on the daily time frame. Had its play, it's maybe turning into banana. But here's my big problem. Okay. We still have hidden bearish divergence with ASTER on the daily time frame, because that's that's the end of the wave. That's the retrace. It's still a correction. It's not impulsing. So any move to the upside it's not trending to the upside. It's correcting to the upside, because it's a blend of candles. Taking this then into a 4-hour time frame, what do we have where we are right now? So you've got hidden bearish divergence on the higher time frame, the daily time frame. Go to a 4-hour time frame. What do you have? You've got strong bearish divergence, saying that we want to try and end this wave. And you're allowed to remain bullish on your ASTER as long as we stay above $1.27. If you do that, hey, maybe we can go to $1.61 and then change the stars, change the potential, turn this into a cup and handle. But if you want to see cup and handles, or you want to see banana coins, you're going to see it everywhere. So try not to anticipate it too early. Wait for it to prove it, because then there always will be the handle, the accumulation that builds the strength for the next move. And if you want to take the risk is that you want to buy this thing. You don't want to see this thing go below $1.27 to try and drive it to these higher levels. Fall below that range, it's just going to keep on dumping, okay? Because it's still a bearish coin. It's still trending bearish on the higher time frame, okay? So there's your ASTER. XMR, we can probably have a look at. Let's see. I just want to quickly go through all the comments. It's a pleasure, my friend. It's a pleasure, Lizo. I got my son into comp at 70. What's the chance that it's going to go there? Oh, my friend, the chances are good. The chances are bad. My camera keeps on tilting to the right. I need to do something with that. I know why. It's good or bad, because we do not predict. So you cannot predict. Please don't ever predict. What we can do is we can measure the risk of where it's at right now. Let's do that. Okay. And then we'll do an XMR, and then we're done for the day. 40 minutes is a good stream. Only going to be back on Friday. Okay, so those are the two for that we're going to do. So let's have a look at comp. Where's my DeFi section? Here we go. This is the weekly chart. Just make sure I've got this set back to where it's supposed to be daily. Let's look at comp on the daily. So what's the chance that it's going to go to 70? Well, it's good, but it will probably first go to 20. Because in order for comp to put in a base, you can see this liquidation event was met with strength. It's a good sign that it's potentially bottoming out. So if we do get another shakeout, Bitcoin could, mess with our money and hurt us. My long is in drawdown again, deeper drawdown. See, the little blowfin character is not looking so happy right now. So it could definitely just wreck you a little bit more. See, there's my little not happy. The short's happy, however. Okay. So if we're looking at this, that could still be the area where support is. But when we're there, you need to understand you don't know the future of this. Now, we can read up on the website and we can do that, but it's public information. Free information is, you need to put the value where it, reasonably. Now, $287 is where I would say if comp wants to go bull market, past 70 it's there. To 80, it can go there. Now, $70 would be this area of resistance that was lost. We wicked to it already. So we confirmed that is resistance at that range. The fact that you have an accumulation this long, effort versus result, means that maybe, I don't want to throw opium at a situation when we're desperate, but maybe this is what is in store for Bitcoin. And this run is what you're waiting for comp to do that crazy run. Will it go to $70 now unless something crazy happens? Which I don't know. You're asking me to predict, of which I won't be able to answer that. But Terry, I hope that helps. Let me know. I mean, maybe takes away a little bit of the uncertainty, because if you treat it like, if you make peace with the fact that you don't know, what do you know? Well, price action says it needs to hold there. So if it loses that, it's going to just keep on being horrendous. You've got a long accumulation, which is a really good sign. It's showing you some strength. That stuff we do know. And when this happens, we do know normally the reaction is quite violent. Zcash being a really good example of just that. That's it. So there you have it. And then there was one more. I said I was going to look at XMR. Now, I've been keeping an eye on Monero. Let me just get I think I had it on KuCoin. Just make sure. Been keeping an eye on Monero because it's sitting right there at the top. And privacy coins are, I think it's a privacy coin, kind of hot right now, in a way. Security, privacy, and so forth, with XMR sitting at a high. Here's the thing with this. Daily time frame, just going to stay there. Look at the RSI, look at the lows, look at where the divergence pivots live. Okay, so it's right there. Stay above it, you think more. Lose it, you're going to test the bottom of the range, 250. And that's the risk that you have. So now you have to wait and decide whether that's the case. So you can go long here on the basis that you're buying a shakeout. Bitcoin could turn bullish. This thing could turn around and print me some money and I'll be happy and so forth. It could turn around like that. Okay. And then this could potentially happen. But the odds are that we're trading below the level. We haven't lost the level yet. Wait for a few more days, say to the end of the week. If we open and close dailies below this level, your best bet will be statistically it's going to go there rather than there. Okay. So there you have it. XMR. Guys, thanks so much for taking time to join. Make sure to get yourself into the Discord and make sure, if you really want to make some changes, join the Lifetime group. It's as simple as that. Have a lovely day, guys. Bye-bye.